Hi guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. I'm actually filming this on Sunday. I had a house guest come in, unexpected, so I am filming later than I normally would, so it may be up on like Monday because it takes so long. It takes almost a whole day to load the video onto YouTube. But every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead. And we have a pretty action-packed week ahead for sure. This is the week of September 20th through the 26th, so it's like Sunday to Sunday. And this week we have the fall equinox, which is going to be happening on September 22nd. And then on that same day, the sun is going to be in Libra. It's going to move into Libra, and we have a big yod. So this week has a lot to do with just a big transition in our energy. And I could use a transition. I don't know about you, but the energy has been pretty unbearable, and it's made everybody really sensitive and full of inner turmoil, and you've been kind of visiting and fighting some of those really deep obstacles that we all have buried deep in our subconscious, and very conscious of that now, very conscious of those weaknesses and our strengths as well. Places where we tend to lose power, and then places where we need to empower our lives, which can make us feel vulnerable and very hypersensitive because we have the Virgo energy. But thankfully, we are moving into Libra energy, which allows us to mentally disconnect a little easier. When we're in Virgo energy really tunes us into that place where we, where all of our senses are activated. And when all of our senses are activated, and depending on the aspects of that Virgo season, we can tend to feel very, very hypersensitive to things. That doesn't mean that they're not things that you need to be sensitive of. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's things you need to tend to, but it can be information overload. It can be mentally a lot to process. If Virgo season is activating a lot for you. And for a lot of people I know, it activated a lot of different things all at once, and some very deep rooted things, because if you think about what's opposite of Pisces, opposite of Virgo, which is Pisces. So we're diving in. We're pulling it out into consciousness in Virgo season, and then we are trying to figure out a way to be productive with it. Make lists, try to, like if the health issue came up last month, then you would be trying to find a doctor, a specialist, somebody that could help you kind of overcome this obstacle. If for some of you, it could have been something to do with places where you kind of lose steam in your life, and where where you lack the determination to conquer that area because of all the Mars square that we're having. And so for some of you, it could have pissed you off. It could have made you upset. It could have made you feel like you didn't have enough gratification in that area. And so it's made you pretty determined to tackle that area of your life. For some of you, it could have just been an area, like relationships are really hard right now. So as we go into Libra season, we go into it with a punch. We go into it with a yod in Libra's ruler, right? So Venus right now is currently in Leo at the top of this yod. And I'm going to put a display of the yod up here so I can make you understand what a yod is. But a yod looks like a witch's hat, and it is, at the top of it is Venus in Leo. At the bottom of the yod is Jupiter in Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces. Now between Jupiter and Capricorn, which is direct, and Neptune and Pisces, which is in retrograde, there is a gorgeous sextile. And the way that I look at yods is well, they're called the finger of God in astrology, but you have to go, it's like you're playing a video game. And in the video game, you are on a quest. And you have several challenges on that quest. So the challenges that you would have on this quest during this yod is you would have Venus in Leo. So Venus represents our partnerships, bonds, and unions, our seventh house, technically. What we get passionate about, what we get fired up about, because it's in Leo, it has to do with our money, the way that we experience pleasure, which is very important to both Venus and Leo. And, how we socially interact with others, what we're attracting, what we're not attracting in our lives, what we want to attract in our lives. Because we really desire a lot of pleasure when Venus gets activated. We want to experience, kind of the finer things in life. And to me, relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions can really activate one of the most important things on this earth about being a human being and about experiencing the physical realm. And that would just be the love of another, or loving someone, or investing in somebody more than you invest in yourself, or somebody believing in you and you collaborating and you moving forward with a project. And, you have a partnership, you have a support system. And so you have to go through something with an important relationship, bond, partnership, or union, something to do with your money or your finances, or something to do with the stability. This could be your physical stability, or it could be your mental, emotional, spiritual kind of well-being sort of thing. So when we go through this challenge in this yod, at the very end of every quest, there's always a really big prize you attain. And that would be the sextile between Jupiter, which is the most benefic blessing you could ever get in your life. It expands anything, good or bad, but it can give you the biggest gifts, or it could just expand things out of control. It just depends on how you do it. But when you get to this prize, you've got expansive, benefic, gift-giving Jupiter, and Neptune and Pisces, which is the ultimate dreamer. It makes your dreams come true. It expands your horizons. It expands your boundaries. It gets you closer to your dreams. It gives you the tools and the ability to manifest your dreams and make them come true. But you've got to go through a really big challenge to do that. And so I feel like that is sometimes what is super frustrating about a yod, is that people will lose steam. They will succumb to the two quincunxes. So at the top of Venus in Leo, there's a quincunx to Jupiter in Capricorn, and a quincunx to Neptune in Pisces. So this challenge that will get you fired up and you're going to be incredibly passionate about, it's going to be very central to your existence. Your world will revolve significantly around this challenge at this time. You will be very zeroed in and centered in on this specific topic in your life, or this specific challenge. Jupiter's going to expand it. It's going to expand the challenge. It's going to expand that feeling of not having control over that area of your life. It's a place where you tend to not be in control, where you tend to, you could either give power and control over to other people so that they can take care of it for you, because it's a relationship type conversation, or it's somewhere where your closest relationship, bonds, partnerships, and unions take advantage of you and they tend to overpower you. It will piss you off. The other side of this is we've got this Venus in Leo. It's in a quincunx with Neptune and Pisces. So this is going to be a place where we want to escape. We don't want to deal with. We tend to have rose-colored glasses on in this particular part of our lives. It's a place where it's been a significant challenge. You've had lesson after lesson in this particular part of your life. And it's a place that you are, it's very it's very core based. And so it's a place where you might even mentally succumb. It's a place where you have to have a drink to get away from it. You have to take a drug because you just can't cope with this part of your life. It's a place where you are incredibly sensitive to. It's a place where you're not even entirely conscious of the entire situation. Like why are you responding to it that way? Because it's a subconscious response. You don't know. That's where triggers lie. It's where fear lies. It's where our walls and obstacles lie. But Venus in Leo is, the thing about Venus in Leo is Leos like to take action. They're not afraid. They're just foolhardy. They just love to just jump in and just go for it. So in this particular part of your life, you're going to be very sensitive to. You could be dreaming about it a lot, and it could be triggering some kind of deep-rooted things that you didn't know were kind of still on your table to deal with. But it's going to fire you up on the inside. It's going to make you passionate about it. If it's in relationship, which this has a lot to do with because the sun moving into Libra, and the sun moving into Libra is trining Saturn in Capricorn and trining Pluto in Capricorn, then what you're going to experience, it's an area where you have maintained it in a certain way that you've gotten by. It's a place where you've never excelled in. It's just a place where it comes easy. That particular area, it's a place where, it's challenging, but you've found a way to get through it, and so you coast through it. You're not going to be really able to in this type energy, but you're going to want to do the same thing you always do to cope with it, and then you're not going to be successful at it because you have a yod there as well. So Mercury is going to be in Libra. It's going to be trining the North Node in Gemini, which means you need to move forward. This is all about gaining peace and harmony in that particular area of your life. It's about being better connected with those you love. And it's about having conversations that really ignite your curiosity and really allow you to explore your options and look at things from different perspectives and, maybe do things, in a different way. And it's just a very mentally activating part of your life. But Mercury in Libra is squaring off with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, which means if some of you are in these power and control struggles, Libra energy is, for the most part, a very peacekeeping, harmonious energy. It's an area where we tend to be people pleasers. So wherever your Libra is in your chart, you tend to be a people pleaser. You tend to do things to make people happy. You tend to always put others first in that area. You tend to back down a little bit, and you try to, because you can always look at it from somebody else's perspective in that particular area of your chart. And then you kind of you can just go along. You're almost bendable, movable in that area if there's an important relationship on the line. However, this is also an area where Libra likes a certain level of control, and they're used to manipulating and charming their way out of the situation, or they're used to using love as a tool to get them what they want. I mean, that's how they abuse their power. And that's not going to work in energy like this, because this is a place where this is a time where, in general, if you're abusing your power, this will be a very harsh reality for you, because to be honest with you, the energy out there is not going to support any manipulation tactics, any oppressive tactics. If you get in an argument with a Leo, they'll try to throw every statistic and fact and make themselves sound so intelligent that you really feel so stupid talking to them about it. And they're so explosive and so ignitable that because their opposing energy is Aries, and they're so self-focused when they're trying to make a point, because when they finally blow, I mean, and I say finally, then they don't give they just don't care about what comes out of their mouth. I mean, they are going to alleviate the problem. If they have to do that by the most vicious facts, if they have to do that by the bringing up your weaknesses, your largest weaknesses, they will. But they will not tolerate any sort of demeaning or non-respectful conversations to them, and they will leave your life. So when you're dealing with this, you have to, this is about learning how to maintain power, not how to overwhelm people and take away their power. And it's not about losing power. It's about steadily maintaining power. And that doesn't mean an explosive argument if you don't get what you want and then flouncing out and never being in their life again and ghosting whoever you're with, because that's kind of a Libra thing to do. That would not be a good thing in this situation, because you will be squared and you will fall into this quincunx, and it will be you that has the lesson. So this is a time to listen, to observe, to be focused, to look at things from somebody else's perspective, which is all great things that Libras do. And really focus on, what you want to attain. And for some of you, this has a lot to do with the material realm. This has a lot to do with love and money. I mean, the finer things in life, the material things you want to attain, the aesthetic of your life, like what kind of house do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of car do you want? I mean, those are all things that are really important to a Libran mentality, because they tend to be on the materialistic side and a little bit more on the shallow side of the material realm. So it's really important to have things that make you feel pretty, and things that make you feel important and elevated, and you're at your status level. It is a tough journey for anybody who's a Gemini, or anybody who has any strong Gemini aspects. I have a Gemini rising per se. So the North Node is going to be in Gemini, and it is aspecting this yod. So anything that's touching this yod, or anything that's poking at this yod, or anything that's connected in any way to this yod, that place gets activated as well. And so this North Node in Gemini is going to be quincunxing Saturn and quincunxing Pluto. So for some of you, your old tactics of smooth talking, lying, manipulating, doing things on the sly, not telling the truth, manipulating a truth, a little white lie, none of that crap's going to work anymore for you. That part of your life is really being hammered. If you tend to be a person who tells a lot of little white lies to make people comfortable, or to make it more comfortable for you, those little white lies are going to blow up in your face. I would not do any of them in this energy, for they are going to come out, and the truth will be told come Scorpio season, that you are a freaking liar. So stop lying. The only thing I can say to you, if some of you have a Gemini in your life that tends to lie, or if you tend to lie, because it's just more comfortable to embellish the truth. You're not meaning to do it facetiously. That word is so hard for me to say. But it's like that area in your life where you tend to, you tend to do what it takes because it keeps you in power in that situation. And it doesn't mean like you're trying to abuse power, although some people are intentionally freaking lying and just for the sake of lying, like they're compulsively lying. If you are that person that does it for, that are narcissistic, or that are compulsive liars, or people that don't even understand their truth anymore because they have manipulated their own truth so much that they don't even know how to tell the truth anymore, you are going to get some harsh lessons from Father Saturn and from the destructive Plutonian energy. Because it's pointing you north. Don't do that. It's saying, hey, if you are going so far south that I have to zap you with some lightning to get you to go the other direction, I will. And so it's really tough energy. The other thing I want to say is for people who are easily ignitable and people who are, look, we're vulnerable on a very self-based level. Now, the external world is pushing all our buttons, right? Because that's all these squares that we're having with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and Mars and Aries. It's just pushing our buttons. It's making us either feel vulnerable or hypersensitive, or it's making us feel very weak, like we don't have enough power to control our own lives. It is a very activating time because we are going to do what Aries do when they get activated. They don't have any self-control. They don't have any self-discipline. So they just blow. They blow their tops. They overpower. They dominate. They're aggressive. And they're very, very, very harsh. And they don't care about the consequences, because by the time you've hit that button, by the time they've been triggered, they don't care about the consequences. They're going to go take care of their problem because they don't want it anymore. And they don't care. They don't think about the ramifications. So some people are in this mode where, unfortunately, and these are the people that are being worked on and molded and coddled by the universe. I know it seems like these, like all of these squares and quincunxes and yods and all this stuff is like so brutal when we have all of this Plutonian energy, Saturn and Jupiter, and it's all just, everything is a mess. But if you look at where everything is a mess, it's where people of power have been abusing power for a significantly long time. And right now the universe is like, that area is such a hot mess that I'm going to make it so physically uncomfortable and so emotionally uncomfortable and so spiritually uncomfortable that you humans are going to go out there and do something about this freaking huge problem because it's a worldwide issue. It is destroying our planet. It is destroying our connectivity as a cumulative, as humanity. And it's an area in life that can't go on this way. We will destroy our planet. I don't care if you believe in the green, if you believe in anything having to do with the Green Deal. It's insignificant to me. We all do know, like you can't deny that we're pouring plastics. Like, let's say, like the bottom line is, whether or not you care about the environment, you look at all the plastic in the oceans and you see that whale that just died and they opened up his stomach and it was filled with plastics and it killed a whale. Okay, we have a problem, right? I mean, obviously we have power over our planet, and we have the power to make changes in the way that we take care of our planet. And if we're abusing our planet, nature's getting really done with us. So it is making us understand that actually, you know what's in control? Nature. It will burn down our entire forest. It will flood our creature comforts. It will do anything, but guess who has power over humanity? Nature. We have it wrong. We think that we have control over this planet when we don't. And so I feel like the balance of power that's shifting, like as a worldwide collective, is that we have things we need to tend to. We need to make changes. Clean energy, stop using our natural resources and start developing things that will take care of our planet. I know I got off on a tangent, but I'm thinking of nature. If you can look at this from a bigger perspective than your own political dogma, right? If you could look at it just from a worldwide view, look at how angry nature has been at us for the way that we are taking care of our planet and the retaliation from nature. I don't know if you can look at it at that level. If you can't, disregard all I just said. This isn't about infringing on anybody's belief systems. But I look at it that way. And I say, we need to calm Mother Nature down because Mother Nature is kicking our tails right now. So let's talk a little bit about positive energy. This is a great time to empower yourself. Do you guys want your life to be different? Do you want this current reality to be our moving forward energy, our moving forward reality. Do you want this for your kids? I mean, do you want this for your elderly years? I mean, do you want this for your family, for your financial security? I mean, come on, man. Like, things do need to change. And moving into the fall equinox, it's a shift. It's like taking, it's like driving a stick shift and shifting it into the next gear for that year. So there is this book called, it's called Earth Magic. And Stephen Farmer is a PhD. He is a social healer, shamanic practitioner, ordained minister, and licensed psychotherapist. He is an author of numerous books and card decks and is the host of his own radio show, Earth Magic Radio, on contacttalkradio.com, and makes his home in LA, Laguna Beach, California. And this is a hay house deck, but I really like this deck, and I thought his card was important to take a look at. So on September 22nd, we have the autumnal equinox, which is release. And I love what he has, the viewpoint that he has on the equinox. It's just beautiful. So what he says is the autumnal equinox release. In many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from earth in order to maintain robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the trees make, at least not in the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of life that sets up the gradual and steady release of the trees. How remarkable is it that these trees, and for that matter, all of Earth's mother's children, simply know what to do with the changes in climate. Although this seasonal shift appears to be the death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contradiction of winter as an aspect of life, death, rebirth cycle that we find represented in so many ways. Now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest, while at the same time making preparations for the winter season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. With release comes a great sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that openly bare their nakedness once their leaves have departed, and give room for whatever new life has or is ready to birth following a period of quiet and gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposeful and trust that something else will take its place. I just love that because I feel like we don't shed, like we hoard energy and we hoard negativity and we hoard things and we hoard mindsets and we hoard belief systems, and whether they work or not, they seep into our identities, and then we identify with these things. But these people, these things, these material possessions, these belief systems, whatever, We were never supposed to just get fixated on one type of mindset. We were always supposed to shed and evolve with the seasons. The seasons remind us that there's a fertile time, in our lives. There's a time when we grow. There's a time when we release, and then there's a time when we go dormant. But we don't go with those seasons. We just fixate on hardcore outcomes, and we live the exact same way. Doesn't matter at what stage in our lives, and we pile on those fixations until we're so bogged down with dogma that we don't even we are just mindless robots where we can't let go of anything. We can't adapt, we can't change, we can't do anything. It's just important to realize that as we're moving into the fall equinox, that it is a time of shedding. And what in your life can you shed? Well, I hope if you guys are just here for the astrological portion of today's reading, then thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you. And go out there and be the change you want to see in the world, and shed, baby, shed. Let go, release, allow the change of season in this life, and don't fight it. We've got to change. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. This is Annette, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead. And the pick a card portion of the reading you guys chose, pile number 1, the Empress. And wow, has the Empress been cantankerous lately? She's been very grumpy. She's been holding us accountable for the way that we're treating her planet. Mother Earth is very She's very irritated at us. The Empress is, when she comes into your life, it's something that she's going to help you grow in. She's going to help fruition come into that portion of your existence, and she is going to help you understand, ground yourself, and simplify your wants and needs into something that can, what she's going to do is she's going to help direct you in a way that will focus on something stable, something secure, something that you can count on. And this week, it's all about just that feeling of rooted in and grounded in reality. Facing your reality, it's about empowering your reality so that you understand that you are the one, you're the co-creator in your life. And so if you don't like your life, or it feels unstable, or it feels like, you're not financially secure in the material realm. She's very attached to the physical realm. When she shows up in your reading, something in your physical realm needs to be tended to so that it can grow. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards for this week. Okay, let's see what your, oops, on my bad. Oh, you guys got the fish, water energy. Well, even though the sun is in Libra and this is the fall equinox, we do have a yod. And actually the yod is kind of like this energy, but a little bit longer. At the top of the yod is going to be Venus in Leo. The bottom of the yod over here is going to be Neptune and Pisces, which is in retrograde. And then over here is going to be Jupiter and Capricorn. Okay, so when we have this yod and Neptune and Pisces, that's the fishy energy they're talking about. That's the watery energy. If you see the moon down here, it's very instinctual. It's very attached to being heightened. Your sensitivity is heightened and your intuition heightened. So you are intuitively being activated. And you know how a fish can just sense? You think they're coming up to your lure, and you think they're coming up to your lure, and you're really excited that you're going to catch them. And for some reason, they just sense something and don't latch on to your lure. I don't know if you've ever been fishing. I love fishing, so I'm very attached to that analogy. But that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like you may be caught up in sparkly lures. You may be noticing a lot of things that is very distracting. And but you're not directing your focus on an area of your life that needs some stability and some grounding. So let's see what your T is. Let's see what this is all about. So what is being focused upon for you is your career, life, path, destiny. This is the purposeful energy that we feel. This is the energy that pays for our life in the material realm. It's the place that we feel the most success and achievement. So for some of you, feeling a sense of achievement, a sense of purpose, a sense of validation through that revenue of your life is going to be very important. And that's the area that the Empress wants to help make you grow. And so she's saying, follow your intuition this week. We have the Bow, and it says you are highly thought of. Well, I like seeing that, because if we're trying to gain some notoriety, some appreciation from authority figures, some validation, and even, if you're going for a raise, you want them to know and to recognize you for all the hard work that you do in your life. We have the Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Eagles are probably one of the best omens for me out there. The Eagle symbolizes the ability to look from a big perspective, to use wisdom, to be able to think through things. You're not an impulsive person, which could be very hard in energy like this, but you seem to be very, very attached to looking at things from the big picture. And we have Tankard, celebration, fun, and enjoyment. I'm liking your energy. I mean, you're having a beautiful reading right now. There's a lot of positivity. Anytime intuition comes into play, you can be very, very insightful on what you need to do next. If you can just tune in and there is some logic and some perspective. Maybe you didn't always used to trust your intuition all that much, but now you do. So we have, this is soul cards too. And, Mother Earth. Oh my gosh, Earth energy is very prominent in your reading. So you have to understand, Capricorn is in Pluto, it's in Saturn, and it's in Jupiter right now. And it's in this yacht. So for you, being grounded, secure, simplifying, shutting out the noise, shutting out the chaos, and look at this deer here. This reminds me of Libra energy. Maybe you're very, very attached to the sun transitioning into Libra energy, which is beautifully trining Saturn and Capricorn and trining Pluto and Capricorn. Guys, I'm really feeling the fact that you guys are going to experience almost like an awareness and awakening, like a leveling up in a particular part of your life where you didn't always, where you couldn't keep it simple, where you couldn't simplify the issue or the problem or the want or the need in the material realm. This week will really simplify and help target you. And your intuition is going to be really buzzing in that particular area. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your those feelings you get, those slight fluctuations in your energy. And if you feel like you are kind of off a day, then reel yourself back in, find a place where you can just ground yourself and visit that part of you and be like, why am I upset here? Or why am I feeling this? So we have 55, which is adventure. And if you see this, it's kind of a calming energy. This blueness to this card is there's a calmingness. 5 is the master number of change. So for some of you, I always see 11 and I see 5 when I see a 55, but you can also see 5 and 5 is 10, or you can reduce it down to a 5. Either way, it's a culmination. You can look at this as a culminating time, a time where you're looking at stability and you're reaching a point where you get to go to that next level. I said that already, but the 55 just confirms it. But I love the blue energy and the calmness that I feel from this, along with, you know, we have, you're looking at things from the right perspective. This is just confirmation of that. And it's just this grounding that I'm feeling. You have a really good energy about you guys. So let's take a look at your planetary energy. I'm just going to do this really quick. One little shuffle. Okay. Right. Take a look. I do read reversals in our planetary energy because I want to see if you're attaching to the positive or the negative energy. So we have Venus in Scorpio. We have the Four of Swords. I like seeing that, but we have to talk about that. And then the Palace of Coins, which is the Palace, which is Pentacles. So this has to do with. So this is the beginning of the week, midweek, end of week. Okay, so we have Venus in Scorpio, and it's the Seven of Cups. So this just has to do a lot with the energy. The energy is all over the place, and it activates a lot of emotional. We have a lot of emotional responses to what is going on. It doesn't matter how detached you think you are from your emotions and you have control over them. I'm feeling this week you are going to get very activated by a lot of different things. And this is good because you need to emotionally tune into what you want the most. And then this energy can help that particular part of your life grow. And if you tune into exactly what feels the strongest, then that is the area that you can really focus on this week and really experience some progression in if you want to. We have the Four of Swords, but in reverse. And this is actually Jupiter in Libra. So that's some more the Libra, the sun moving into Libra energy that we were talking about. For you, you may be having some sleepless nights. You may be having a little bit of worries, which is unnecessary, by the way, because you're connected to your intuition, and your intuition is going to guide you. Don't let the rhetoric of the world seep into your head and like screw with your peace of mind, because when we get into those sun in Libra, what we really desire is like a balance and a harmonious, peaceful type feeling. You really are. So maybe for you, getting out in nature is really going to hone down and calm your energy. I mean, you really need to do things that calm you, that keep you level-headed in energy like this. Also, this being in reverse, be careful not to have this Mars and Aries energy be activated through this week. Be careful not to do things that will cause you to have restless and sleepless nights. Be careful of your words. Be careful of your ego and your interactions with others, that you don't dominate and try to control and take away their power with your words, with your ability to not manipulate the facts, but to distort the facts in your favor. Because you're just going to want to just not be in conflict this week. And then we've got the Palace of Coins. And to me, when I see this in reverse, I think of maybe some of you are really focusing on what it's going to take to get you to that level in your life where you feel very comfortable, where you feel stable, where you feel financially secure. I feel like that's a very important part of your life. So let's add some light to this. This is the Light Seer deck that I always religiously use every day of my life and in every one of our readings. Okay, just gonna do one little shuffle. I shuffle these off camera really extensively. So we've got the King of Swords. We've got the Eight of Wands. King of Swords, and we've got this Eagle. We'll talk about that. We've got the Hanged Man. Queen of Cups, guys, and this fish. We'll talk about that. My beautiful Queen of Wands. Hello, girl. And then we've got our Page of Swords here. Okay. So let's look at beginning part of the week. Let's look at these three guides here. Sorry. See if I can do that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so the King of Swords is... The King of Swords, when he shows up in your reading, you are ordained with a disconnection, an emotional disconnection from things, and you're looking at things that are only in a logical way. You're looking at things from that elevated perspective. You're planning and doing things based on longevity. So you can make some really, really powerful plans this week. Because you're going to be highly intuitive and you're going to be also very logical and rational. And so for some of you, it's hard when you have the King of Swords energy because he does tend to cut ties based on what's good for him, what's good for things, his kingdom in the long run. And he may seem cold and very emotionally disconnected, but he's not. He's actually very rational and logical about the decisions that he has to make. So for some of you, if you are experiencing, this Seven of Cups energy in the middle, really tap into the rational and logical side of you. Just meditate, pull yourself out of your emotion, calm your emotions, and then tap into the King of Swords energy this week because he's going to give you some very insightful discussions on a logical and rational level. And then we have the Eight of Wands here. So that way you can take action at the beginning of the week. That way you can take the right actions. Not have any emotional upheaval, but just very rational and logical, make very rational and logical actions, which, oh my God, I hate making emotional decisions. I always regret them. It's very rare that an emotional decision really gets me where I want to go in the long run. Okay, so we have the Four of Swords, and I said, some of you could be having a lot of worries, a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of inability to find peace and harmony. So take a time out. The Hangman is saying take a time out. It's, asking you to focus on yourself. This is an intentional time where you just disconnect. You control the amount of media and input and rhetoric that is in your life, and you become this little Queen of Cups here, where you just start to become very highly intuitive. And so by midweek, I feel like your intuition is going to kick in, and you're going to get some very insightful clarification. It's going to be on a more rational and logical level. Intuition can be very rational and logical. It doesn't have to put you all in the feels. Intuition usually activates our feelings because it heightens our purpose in that particular part of our life. It activates us. But if we're the King of Swords here and then we're the Queen of Cups here, we're both intuitively connected and rationally and logically connected to a decision or a discussion we're having with ourselves, or finding a way to calm our energy body, you know what I mean? And make sure that that is just very level. Okay, then by end of week, okay, we have the Palace of Coins here. And you guys are getting very fired up. I love the Queen of Wands. It's probably one of my most favorite energies to feel. Very activated, very kind of like, you feel very powerful and empowered in your own life and in your own journey. You're not letting other people distort your reality. It's like, that you have to control, and you have to take control in a certain portion of your life. And so it feels very empowering and very like you have the power to take any action you want to achieve a goal. For some of you, this could be, you may want to do something with your home. It may be selling a home, it may be looking for a home, it may be setting your sights on a dream home, or a dream life, or like if some of you are like, I want to get out of the city, I want to, get somewhere where I'm back in touch with nature. I'm done with the city world. For some of you, because I'm seeing the Palace of Coins in reverse, some of you just need to be more in touch with nature. So you may be migrating out of the city along with everybody else, like the rats. They're running away from the flooding energy that's there. The Page of Swords is just, as we do, when we get really in touch with like where we're supposed to be going, it's just a new way of thinking. It's exciting, you know. If some of you are looking at where, if you may be researching where you want to live or where you need to, or some of you may be looking at places where you're like, I need a vacation, I need to get away, I need to get out of the world, like touch with this world, and I need to get back in touch with nature. For some of you, it's like looking around on the internet. It's like finding a place. It's like finding a bed and breakfast. It's like, you know, finding a cabin, finding, you know, a resource that can help you kind of get away and detach a little bit from reality. So that could be some of this a new Page of Swords energy. For some of you, it's just you may be activating a part of you that you need to do a little research on. Okay, so I'm going to put these over here, guys. Page of Swords is just a learning something new. You're working on leveling up a certain area in your life. It's anywhere where you do research. I see her a lot. She comes up a lot. And I think it's because, you know, we are desiring a little, we need a change, and we understand it. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of these. Oh, you guys got family and tribe. So I love these cards. These are the healing cards by Ina Siegel. And when I see something like this, and I see Mother Earth represented, we have this situation. Some of you may be having some family issues coming up, and you're trying to figure out and resolve some issues at home. Some of you may be having some family problems that you need to resolve. And some of you may be having some inner child stuff coming up, might be being activated, something having to do with the way that you were programmed by your family, and you are still taking that story into this current lifetime and or into your current adulthood. Some of you may be, just family may be weighing on your mind, and so you're having to deal with that. And for some of you, this could have, you could just be trying to find a way to start a new family. Some of you may be very focused on the void of family in your life. Stuff like that comes up when you see that card. Oh, shoot, girl. Or guy. This card is so beautiful. It is, I love. So I'm an Ina Siegel, fan. And this is Mystic Healing, reading cards. I have one more deck I think I need to get of hers. But she's kind of hard to get. It takes me a really long time to get her cards. So this is Break Addiction. So is somebody in your life addicted? Is addiction interfering with your family life in some way? For some of you, it's a tendency to have a habit or a poor coping method. And that's why I'm feeling like getting away, grounding, getting rooted in something that's tangible and beautiful and peaceful and harmonious. Some of you may feel like if you had beat an addiction, it's starting, those instincts and those poor coping methods are starting to creep back into your life. So for some of you, it is getting control over that area. And then because I realize this has been a super hard past couple weeks, I wanted to see how we're feeling. And so for you, there's a sense of vulnerability. And some of you may have felt very vulnerable. This energy may have taken away a lot of your sense of control and power. And so you may be feeling just a little bit of naivety about, what do I do now? And that to me is just very indicative of this card, which is, what do we do now? I'm vulnerable. There's a place in my life where I need more stability. I need more peace. I need more harmony. I lack self-control. Poor coping habits are starting to kick in. And it's just something that you need to change and do differently. And so there's a sense of, I don't know, I feel like inner child comes out when we get triggered. Then the inner child takes kind of over us, and it's a place where we never got to grow and flourish because it may have been a place where we were controlled and dominated, and then that was stuffed away in us, and we weren't allowed to grow in that area. So this beautiful Empress card is saying, I'll help you grow in this area. Like if you want to, if we really want to deal with this, if you want to take control of this part of your life, let's make it grow. Let's help it grow healthy. And then we have the Phoenix. How's that for a happy ever after? I love this card so much. I love it. Like, look at her. I actually want to read that because I'm feeling very connected to your guys' energy. And these are super tiny readings. Like, okay. So we have Phoenix. How's that for happy ever after? No matter how hopeless you may be feeling at this moment, know this. You can and will survive whatever trials you've been put through. From the ashes of the past, you shall create a storybook ending filled with beauty and resilience. All future flames will cower when they hear the whisperings of your name. Yes. It's a very empowering card. So yeah, some of you, there's a big part of your life that's changing. You did get 55. You are seeking for calmer waters, safer waters. Look at how beautiful. I love synchronicities and readings. That's why I do so many oracle decks, is because simplicity. You know, you have the soul card. It's just, you know, Mother Earth is sitting here, the calming and you're seeking balance. You're seeking to have a peaceful existence. The Sun in Libra is really helping you it's like changing the way that you think about just the quiet and the peaceful side of things. You guys need to be mindful of that area in your life where you have a poor coping method that's really taking over. So I'm going to do that. To put this way. Let's see if that's not in the picture enough. Okay, that is. All right. Okay. Okay. This is a funny one. Oh, it's got a little hair on it. Oh, it's part of the little cotton. So this is the toilet bowl scrubber. And the reason why I got these is because you need to clean something up. Something that you don't want to clean up. Something that's, nobody wants to clean up their toilet bowl. Like that's like the most disgusting part of everything. You're just keeping that bathroom clean. But that is where we tend to shed and we release the things that our bodies do not need. And so you need to clean that area up. That is really indicative of this card. So I'm feeling like, yeah. Poor coping methods are kicking in, activating a really important part of our lives where we tend to lose like a little bit of empowerment. Oh, we have a quarter. What is this quarter's date? Why do I not see the date on here? It's the first date, it says. Oh, 1999. Whenever I see a quarter, I think of what do we consider valuable? What do we consider, and this is also something that is a significant percentage of our life. It's 25% of our thinking. That's kind of what I think when I see a quarter. So if a quarter is coming up into your life, you may be very focused on the material realm, attaining things in the material realm, and getting things that you value most. In 1999, that could be a significant day for some of you. And this is just, she believed she could, so she did. This is having a lot of belief in yourself and being very focused on that belief system. Oh, we have Aquarius thinking, your future. Whenever I think of Aquarius, I think of some new and innovative ways of doing things. I think of, this is very Aquarius. This guy's very Aquarian. Very rational, logical, doing a lot of research, finding resources, connecting with friends, networking, maybe somebody will give you some great advice in your friendship circle. Friendships are very important in Aquarian energy. And this is riding that wave of energy of feeling like grabbing a hold of energy that can be out of control and making the best of it, and embracing that energy and helping you glide in an empowering and freedom type energy. Be careful of your guys' health issues and this addiction. Be careful of how much you drink, what you smoke, what you use as a way of escaping. Be very mindful, and also be very mindful of your health. Eat healthy this week. Pay attention, do some lab work, make a doctor's appointment if you think that you have any ailments. Instinctually, you always get a little voice inside of your head that says, I haven't had a doctor's appointment. I haven't had a physical in a while. If you've got the nagging voice in your head, make an appointment. Oh, and then we have the leaves and the shedding of leaves in the equinox. And we talked about allowing, at the beginning part of the reading, I do an astrological side of this, and I talked a lot about the fall equinox, and it's a time of shedding. It's a time of letting go. It's a time of not being so activated, by allowing yourself to be, to take a break. It's an elephant. So it's a mama elephant and a baby elephant, and you did have family. So family is very important to you guys. Nothing is more important to family than an elephant. Like, they are really connected to their family circles. Oh, we have a little cactus here. Whenever I see a cactus, I think of how long they take to grow. How resourceful they are, how they store water in the barrels of their cactus so that they have enough water to grow and flourish. But they're also a resource for others. So friendships and families are going to be really important resources for some of you. Look at all our cards here. This is just having to do with home. Home is where the heart is for you, some of you guys. Why is there like some little fuzzy on me now? So we have let's see what we have here. 7 of hearts. I'm just arranging these, and they're a little hard because they're so tiny. Okay, we have a 6 to a 7. We have a 7 to an 8. So we have cups. We go from a 7 to an 8 of cups. So for some of you, this is, we go from a 7 of cups to an 8 of cups. So it is making a change and being very consumed by choices and decisions to actually moving forward and making that change. So for some of you, you may have some confusion this week, but then you start to progress in that area. We have a 6 of swords to a 7 of swords. So this suggests movement, and it suggests, I feel like somebody's been trying to get away with something. Somebody has been trying to distort things. Just be very mindful. I'm feeling this family situation, just a manipulation of the facts, somebody may not be telling you the whole story because you're trying to move forward and they know it. They might be scared of losing you. That was just some of the energy I got from that for some of you. Okay. So let's take a look at the words for the week. I'm sorry I'm so out of breath. I've been having a hard time with all this smoke, and it really gave me an asthma attack, which I've never had asthma before, but I do have some breathing problems since COVID. So I had COVID, so I get out of breath easy now. It's dumb. I'm working on my lung capacity though. Okay. So what's my first word? It's usually my most powerful word that I think for you guys, and so I don't know why I got this, but it is the first word I saw. So nope. Some of you are like no, saying no to somebody, saying no to something. something isn't good enough. And so let's see if this is if I can put, oh, I don't even have an eye. Okay. Let's see. Movement. Yeah, some of you, because we had that Six of Swords. I am feeling movement, or wanting movement, or maybe not having enough movement in a particular part of your life. Nope. I have to remember we don't have an eye. I keep like when I make stuff with eyes. When I get times where I don't have a lot of words that I can see, that just shows me that the words that I specifically pick up on, those are highly emphasized for some of you. Those are like, there's not a lot of diversity in what needs to be said. 10, I think of 10, I think of like getting to a culmination. 10, if 1 plus 0 is 1. So for some of you, it is, this all stems back to you and what you identify with. You making some changes, some independence is necessary in this week. Geez, I don't got much, guys, here. If you guys can come up with something great, and again, nope. Do I have dove? I was like, is there a D? But there's not even a D. Do we have an R? No, guys, I am not able to make any words. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm home. Well, we talked about that. Home is where the heart is, was in your charms. We have home, we have family and tribe, so home and family. We have this palace of coins. So for some of you, home is definitely something to be focused on this week. And maybe that's just a safety point, a place where you can detach. Okay, so we have 49. We have 59. We have 44. And we have 17. So we did have 1 plus 7 is 8. So for some of you, we did have this 8, this 8 of Wands here, making a change. Yeah, guys. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Much love to all of you, and go out there and be the change you want to see in the world. Bye, guys. See you next week. Hi, guys. This is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday, I put out a video to help you prepare your week ahead, and for you guys in the pick a card portion, you guys picked pile number 2. So pile number 2 is the Chariot card. This is the Good Tarot. And this particular card has to do with balancing duality and to be very in touch with both the shadow side and the conscious side. So the subconscious and the consciousness come on the table as well. You are either in control of those things or they are in control of your destination. This card rules the 7s, and it is a Cancer card technically. And so this is a very watery energy that some of you may be very attached to right now. And we do have Neptune and Pisces, which is in retrograde, involved in this yacht that's going to be happening this week. And so for some of you, this could just be and home and family gets emphasized when we get into Cancer energy. And anything having to do with, utilizing, it's usually a place where we go that's like our safe haven. That's where our place where we go to recharge and And the place where we feel empowered in our life is usually our home and family. So those are some of the dynamics that could come up with you being instinctually drawn to the Chariot card. Okay, let's take a look at your spirit animal here, guys. You guys have the earthworm spirit, and it is earth energy. So there is a lot of earth energy right now. I think about how resilient. It's like you could cut a worm in half and that little bugger just turns into 2 worms. So I think of how resourceful you are right now and how empowered you are in your life. I think about how you are trying to make the best of your circumstances in the material realm. I think you guys are very attached to creating some movement and creating some, I don't know, like when I think about the 7s, I think of you had a small victory in the 6s, but as you move into the 7s, there's this transition into, okay, well, I've had it, but I'm not done yet. So there's things that you guys still need to tend to in the physical realm, where you need to take the small victories that you have and you need to move forward with them. Okay, guys, so what's your tea this week? What are you guys focusing on? Success. Success is one of those words, guys, where success has a lot to do with, and this is pretty dark, isn't it? Oh, I don't want it that overblown though. Sorry, let me just do a little, there we go. That's a little better. So success is an area in our life where success to me can mean different things for different people. So this is a very individualistic perspective on what do you consider success? Is success being powerful and being recognized and being somebody in your field that is recognized by others as being, something that people seek to have in that field? Or is success home and family and being loved and being secure and being stable? This is a reading that's very personal. It can't be too generalized because this is just one of those things where it's going to hit home specifically for you. And I think of hitting home, that would be words of what I would consider for Cancer. For some Cancers, home for them is work. Like they make their work their home and they make that where they find their validation. For some Cancers, it is like kids and home and family, and for some Cancers, it is just that feeling of being empowered and resourceful and feeling safe and secure. So it just depends on what your belief systems are in your life. We have clouds, temporary problems. Whenever we get into Cancer energy, that tends to be the places where there's a lot of ebb and flow. It is not a consistent energy. It's a very mutable energy. And even though this is a water-based energy, if you think about the ebb and flow of the tides, then you are constantly dealing with the sun coming out and then going, like if you live in Washington, like a partly sunny day, it's like you don't know what day it is. Is it freaking sunny or is it cloudy? Because the sun is coming in and out of clouds. So that's what I think about. There are portions of this week that are going to be very sunny, and there are portions of this week that are going to be cloudy. And your sun is going to be going in and out of the clouds. Okay, for you, there's also nest. We have an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So for some of you, this is, and this does not surprise me because we are getting, when we have the Chariot card and we have Cancer energy, home and family is of the utmost importance, a place where you have to be very loving and nurturing. It's a place where you desire to be nurtured, all of those things. So family is very important. We also have the Tortoise. And so slowly but surely getting ahead. You know, slow, steady growth is underrated in this world. We are very impatient and very impulsive, and we need instant gratification. But the Tortoise energy, look how long they live. Look, I mean, they can live for like 100+ years. They're so beautiful. So when I think of slow, steady growth, I think of longevity. I think of how long we're going to have a sustainable happiness in that portion of our lives. So that's what we're trying to always seek and I think of also all this earth energy, you know, Everybody has been so consumed with instant gratification. They don't want to work out. They want to go get liposuctioned. You know, they don't want to change a lifestyle or a pattern, a destructive pattern in life. They want to go out there. They want to take a pill, you know, or they want some magical remedy, or they want some magical cure. And that is just not the way that longevity works. Those will give you instant gratification and instant results, but they won't inevitably change something that will bring stability in that portion of your life because it has longevity attached to it. Okay. So we have, this is Soul Cards 1, and this has to do with, when I see this card, there's a couple ways I read this card. For me right now, the way that I'm reading it, sometimes when I pull this card, I hear rhetoric, just lots of voices, lots of opinions, lots of, you know, advice from lots of different sources, which can be really good for you, to be honest. It can give you lots of different perspectives and it can make you feel. But to me, I'm feeling today like this, because of the blue and the calm that I see in the waves here, the coloring, I feel like you are very loved and very supported. This does not have to be by home and family, although this is very emphasized. For some of you, you could be very attached to your home and family. For some of you, home and family could be heavily weighing on your mind. But for some of you, this is just a support system. You're very happy with your support system. And your support system is giving you all of the right advice and all of the right tools. And you are starting to feel this movement and this progression in your life. This person has a very peaceful look on their face, so I'm not feeling like it's terribly traumatized. Okay, so then we have parenting. Oh my God. I love when we get Cancer energy. There's a lot of synchronicities about home and family. So we have 6 and we have a 3. And then, so this is a 9 as well, which can be reduced down to a 3. But anyhow, however you want to read this, 3 is more than 1. So it could be husband, wife, kiddo. It could be parenting. It could be your entire family. This yellow just is happiness, and it radiates the feeling of like sunshine in your life. It's a place where maybe for some of you, it's an emphasis on taking action in your if you're in a parental role. For some of you, somebody may be turning to you for, they may need your love and your comfort and your nurturing and your light in their life right now. It's very interesting. This is very heavily family, home and family for you guys this week. Let's take a look at your week and your planetary energy. I shuffled these off camera, guys, so I just do this to like show you that they're kind of mixed up. I have no way of knowing what's in these cards. Okay, very interesting. I'll look at these in a minute here and pull these off the table. Okay, we have 6 of Cups in reverse. Beginning a week. We have the Moon in Taurus, which is a 6 of Coins. You know what I've always found interesting about this? Look at the Libra sign it's holding. I don't know if you can see that. I can change it, but then it just screws up my whole vibe here. So we've got the 6 of Coins, which to me that just suggests like a material side of things. But balancing, giving a lot in family. Okay, so then we also have Saturn in Libra, which is the 3 of Swords. Okay. Let's talk about this energy that we see here laying on the table. Can I do this? Well, it just like, I just don't want it to like throw off. See how it like blows the color over here? I'm going to do a little, that one's not bad. I don't mind that view. Okay. So, okay, Okay, Six of Cups, whenever I see it, I think of inner child work. I also, and when I see it like this, I think definitely of, being triggered. There could be some problems with the children in your life. There could be some problems with past family issues coming up. Also, there could be some things you have to work through that have to do with some imprinting about how you were raised, or maybe something comes to light about the way that you impacted somebody and the way that they were raised. But it's definitely family issues, definitely having to do with children. I see a lot here. For some of you, if you don't have any kids and there's no family in your life, then it's you being triggered with some inner family work. But it's definitely something that you're conscious of. It's not something that's just looming in the unconscious world. It is coming, you are becoming conscious of it. And this one, it's like by midweek, I see this Six of Coins. There could be some instability around money and security, or somebody in your family could be experiencing some upheaval. They're very emotional about it. They're very fixated. They are worried about it. They may come to you and seek some sort of advice. Maybe you have to give some really good advice to somebody to help them. If it's something that you're really good at and they're not really good at, you can help balance out their circumstances. They may be asking you for money. They may be needing a handout. It may be somebody who needs a handout often, and you may have to draw a boundary. And then when we have this Three of Swords with this Libra energy, so the sun moves into Libra this week. So you guys are I'm feeling very Libran. So relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions are always also emphasized when we get into Libra energy. Libra energy is a fellow cardinal sign to the Cancer energy. And home and family and partnerships, bonds, and unions, all of those things are incredibly important to Libras. And so if there's a place in your life where somebody in your family tends to add a lot of upheaval, they tend to create problems, they tend to be cold and hot in either a relationship or a bond, or it's a family member that causes a lot of drama, stirs up a lot of drama, and then leaves, and then you're left picking up all the pieces. I'm feeling like some of that vibe this week for some of you, and it can be a very triggering feeling because all you lack is, all you want is to stabilize and create some peace and harmony in that particular area of your life. It's an area in your life where I don't think you've exactly got it down, and where you need to start to work at empowering. Let's take a look at, I want some more information. So this is the Light Seer deck, my favorite deck. It just adds love and light. Never read this deck in reverse. It's my light deck, light working deck. So let's see here. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. I have a story about that Knight of Cups. I have a very intense relationship with that, so we'll talk about that. We have the Two of Swords. We have, you guys get a wish. Ooh, yay. Okay, we'll talk about that. It's about the Eight of Cups, walking away. And then Seven of Pentacles. I'm definitely feeling money. I'm definitely feeling money and security and stability on the line here. Some of you are very interested in cultivating and growing something that in the long run will change the circumstance, will create movement and growth in that particular part of your life. So we've got the beginning of the week. Let's talk about this little Knight of Cups here. When he shows up in my readings, he is a smooth talker. He knows all of the right things to say. He's very flattering. He really strokes the ego. When he shows up, I know to be very mindful that week that there could be somebody who flatters you because they're manipulating you and they want something from you, telling you what you want to hear versus what the reality is. Because we have this Six of Cups in reverse. This could be somebody that comes in and out of your life because of the clouds. I'm thinking somebody who comes in and out of your life, says all the right things, makes you believe that things are going to change, and they never do. And if they do it for a very short period of time, and then they go back to what it was. So be very mindful of this. Could also be your realization that you have a tendency to fall for that crap from other people. And so this is some inner child work. This is some inner work that you do. It could be the fact that you had to be a pleaser when you were a kid, because you had parents that were very erratic or very dramatic, or there were circumstances in your family that were always very heightened with a lot of drama. And so you were always the person calming everything down. So that could be very activated. But what is encouraging at the beginning of the week is there is this Ace of Pentacles, which means you can change this. You can plant the seed this week, and you can change this, and your material realm does not have to go in this direction anymore. You don't have to go in this karmic journey. You don't have to continue with these destructive relationships and these karmic relationships that come and go and leave you heartbroken. It's a time to kind of get a hold of that. For some of you, this has to do with family members. Family members could really work you. They can really manipulate you and get you to do what they want you to do. Be very mindful that this little smooth talker that comes in and out of your life, this little person that likes to manipulate the truth and lie, they could even be little white lies. They don't even have to be very big lies, but it does change the way that you respond to them. Don't allow them to do that. Okay, so this is by midweek. This could also be, because of all the pentacles we have, coworkers that like to take advantage of your selfless spirit. So we have a Two of Swords here. So this is, again, an area where we tend to be a little blind. We tend to experience a lot of upheaval. We choose to see what we want to see. It's not in totality. So right now we have Venus in Leo. So the sun is going to be in Libra this week with this fall equinox. And what is shedding and changing, what we are shedding in our lives, hopefully, is this area in our life where we tend to be the givers, where we tend to be the people that selflessly give. We never receive in this part of our lives. This is an area where we want pleasure, we want gratification, we're fired up, we're passionate about, but we don't ever get that. So it's somebody who comes in and takes away our energy, and they don't ever replenish it. And so, but it's also a place where you are inherently blind to, or you may have been blind to, or a place where you know that you intentionally put that blinder on because you really care and love this person. This person really, really knows how to, play you, I guess. I don't know why I'm feeling this so strongly in this pile. I have no connection. I don't know. The Chariot has to do with the dark and the light. It has to do with that place that we experience a void. And so somebody coming in and saying all the right things and filling up that void. I think of how narcissists come into your life. They smell your weakness and they fill that void, that area where that weakness lies, that void, with all of the right things or the right actions. They do the right things, or you say the right things, and then after 3 or 4 months, they tend to start to become themselves, and then they take away, and you feel that void again. And you always crave and want that void to be filled by them again, but they never do it again. But by then you're already hooked on that drug. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at these two, because I feel like this is the most important part of the week, is the midweek. So for you guys, this area where you tend to be intentionally blind, where you don't want to remove the blindfold, take it off and really explore this area of your life. And it's a hard area. It's an area where it's uncomfortable to feel, because you get a wish there. You get a wish. It's about you receiving and not always giving. You are the receiver, where the universe wants to give you something. So let's take a moment, look at this beautiful energy, reach and set that standard really, really high, and wish for that one thing. Write it down, intend it. And when I tell people about wishing has to be one of those things where we put all of our energy behind a wish. It can't be where we say, well, I really wish that person would stop hurting me. Well, all you're doing is putting energy behind the fact they hurt you. You're not putting your energy behind the wish. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you wish for things and you intend things and you want to manifest things, it has to be you want to manifest the most important part of the energy. When you wish like that, you wish with pain. Well, you get more pain. So like be mindful of how you're wishing. Why are you getting so much advice this week? I'm so sorry. By end of week, let's see what we got here. We've got some growth. We've got some progression. We're trying to unstick this part of us. We're trying to create some positivity and some vitality in an area where I think we once felt hopeless. And that is because we're the Eight of Cups here. We're taking control. We're walking away. We're no longer feeling like we are emotionally bound to that circumstance. We're shedding, technically, like the leaves shed this time of year. Okay. In the northern hemisphere. So the southern hemisphere, it's a spring feeling. But for us, up in here in the northern hemisphere, it's a shedding cycle. A culmination and ending. That 9 feeling. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do your oracles. So letting go, shedding. These cards work very well together. So you're letting go, you're shedding. I think of when leaves stop receiving the photosynthesis that they need because our days get shorter and our nights come sooner. They don't have as much sun to create photosynthesis, and so the tree knows to go to sleep. It knows to stop spending energy on growing and to shed that part of its cycle this year. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. Just to shed that part of this cycle of this year and to release it and to let it go. Because that's how new growth happens. And that way the energy of the tree can go into the root system and deep growth instead of in external growth. Okay. So we have assimilate life experience. Okay, I'm going to read these. These are all usually not too bad, and I'm probably going to pick and choose what I read, but this is from Ina Siegel, Mystic Healing Reading Cards. 12. Okay, become conscious of what you allow to impact you. You are overwhelmed by the constant chaos of your life. Do you feel like you are dealing with one drama after another? You have to become more conscious of what situations you allow to impact you. Your body in particular, your digestive system, is asking you to strengthen your boundaries and create healing practice, which allows you to relax, breathe, and assimilate your life experience. Excuse me. It is important that you do a review of your life and become aware of people, situations, environments that need to change. You can ask yourselves, what am I learning from each experience? Let go of any people experiences draining you and putting pressure on your digestion. I really like that because I do feel that people, I actually work with gastroenterology, and so much of what when people experience digestive issues has a lot to do with psychological issues. So if some of you are, let your body give you signals. If your body is like having some digestive issues, you're either, you're feeling a lot of bloating or a lot of, you have a lot of instability in bowel movements, or, your stomach just never feels good, or you feel like there's a lot of burning in your stomach, you are obviously out of balance. So that's another, that sun in Libra, like that's like a signal that your body may not be fully in balance. You may be hypercompensating, but you may not really know it until your body gives you that signal. Okay, we have breaking free. I love this one so much. So I always like to know where you guys are at emotionally, do an emotional check-in, because holy crap, has our last couple of weeks been terrible. And so it looks like you guys are breaking free. We do have that here. We have letting go, 8 of Cups, and we have breaking free. So for some of you, you know, that is just, you guys are getting overwhelmed and kind of done with it. It's like, and even with the earthworm, I think of how you can cut off part of them and break free and create new energy, new growth in a different area, especially if you're bound by one part of it yourself. I love this. This is Be Fire. Stand up for yourself. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling like you guys have a tendency to be one of those people that, let's just read that, because this is such a spunky little oracle. I friggin' love it. But it's believe in your own magic. Okay. And these are really quick little reads. They're not like intense. Okay, so we have stand up for yourself. There is no way to say someone in your life is trying to burn you at the stake. Maybe you didn't give them something they wanted, or you didn't let them get away with their bad behavior. Either way, they're trying to ruin your reputation. Rest assured, your reputation will stay intact. Silence can be effective, but it is not that kind of situation. Get loud and let them have a taste of your Be Fire. Do it. Because, I mean, we have Venus in Leo. So if something comes up and somebody pushes you, take back your power and just say, you know what? I know I'm usually a pushover, but I'm not right now, you know? Okay, and we have sensuality. I find that we forget what makes us feel good. You know, it's like you get so accustomed to like getting up in the morning and you're running through your day, and you don't like for instance, for women, it's like sometimes just putting on lipstick just changes our whole feeling about ourselves. It just makes you feel sexy. Something like super external, something super insignificant can just make you feel good about yourself. For men, it could be like you went and spent a day at the gym. It doesn't mean that you do it every day, but it's like, well, you know what? I need to work out today. That can make you feel empowered in your life and in your physical body. So do things that make you feel beautiful. That's excellent to do with the Sun in Libra energy, because it's moving into Libra on the 22nd during the fall equinox. Maybe it's doing your hair. Maybe it's, you know, like straightening and curling it and going to work and everybody giving you compliments, you know. Maybe it's wearing a specific suit that everybody likes on you, or a tie that everybody likes on you. Or maybe it's, you know, you just go out and you just like take a shower, you do yourself up, and, you know, you just walk out there with a different state of mind. Do stuff like that. Okay, let's go ahead and this week anyway. All right, let's see what you guys' words are for the week. And I'm sorry about my grumbly little voice. The smoke has done a number on me. So it's been very, very toxic and bad out here. So I apologize for that. But I have a lot of throat issues right now. It's been raining, guys. So I feel like we're getting somewhere. I felt like a whole new change when it started raining. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we might have some forest left. I saw this immediately. Spell or spells. So the word spells has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with the magic that life can bring us if we become manifestors of our own reality. We can see magic all around us, and a spell or an intention is the ability to manifest something in your life. Like, you know that you're the co-creator in your life. And so a spell could just simply be somebody is under your spell, or you are under somebody's spell. Be mindful. When I saw him, I thought of being under this person's spell, under their intoxicating presence, and how they use it to sometimes manipulate you. That can be part of it, or the twist is you can put somebody under your spell, right? You can be so sensual and so attractive, and you can just, your mere voice could be music to their ears, and you could easily put somebody under your spell this week if you really want to. I'm doing this so early in the morning, guys. Like, I saw, oh my God. Did I see it? Oh no, I didn't. Wow, we have no I's and no A. How do we spell without that? Okay. Why don't you go out there and get, and while the getting's good, take advantage of the situation when the sun moves into Libra. It's a very empowering time. It's a very sexy time. It's a time where you can be very attractive. You could attract what you want or don't want, depending on how you're using your energy. I always see PS. PS is something more to say. PS is something that we add on. It's an add-on. But also, I just think of PS4 because I'm a nerd. What can I say? I always say, I don't know how it's actually spelled, but this is what I literally say all the time. I'm not sure if that's how you spell cray, but I'm always like, God, people are making me cray cray. So I don't know. Could be spelled wrong. I'm not sure. Do we have another T? Nope. Set can mean anywhere just from a cumulative way that we think about a set of rules, a set of regulations, a set of guidelines, set of boundaries. I think of that wording. And I may not have much more that I can think of. I'm sure that you guys can be like, but I just don't have a lot of vowels. Drives me bananas. Anyhow, that's going to be all. It's been doing that. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Out of order here. Let's put all this aside over here. Okay, can you see that good? Yes. Like to dig deep. Go deep. Okay. Oh, we've got the spiral, the cycles, going around and around and around in circles. I think of the bullseye. I think of like, this is also sacred geometry, by the way. I think of the wheel. I think of karma. A lot comes with a circle to me. We have blessed, belief, and warrior energy. Well, we do have Mars and Aries. Be very, very mindful of somebody trying to take away your power or you trying to overpower others. Be very mindful that if there's an area where you're pushed in your life, that you pay attention to it. And then we just have the little, we have a little ladybug. So that's Jupiter. So you guys may be experiencing this yod very heavily in today's energy. And let's go ahead. And if you want to know more about the yod, just look at the beginning part of the reading, because that is the astrology side of things. I give a lot of advice on how to work with the yod. So we have 17, I think I had 17 in the first reading, 14. I always look at these numbers too as like a 1 and a 4 or a 1 and a 7. It's coming down to you and this 7 being this Cancer energy up here, your Chariot. So movement and going in the direction and creating a significant change in your life. But also a 4 is like for stability, like 1, it's down to you creating the stability that you need in your life. We have a 2 and a 3, and we have a 1 and a 5. You have a lot of things that it comes down to you. That's what I'm getting from these numbers, because I see, like, let's see if I can do these, like, see you guys. So it's like, you need to make a change. You need to create the direction that you want everything to go in. You need to deal with this is coming down. It's like a lot of times we blame others for everything, but this is coming down to something that has to do with you in particular this week. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Thank you for watching. Much love to all of you, and just go out there and be the change you want to see in the world. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Thanks for choosing pile number 3. Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every week I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead, and you guys picked pile number 3, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is very interesting because if you kind of take a look at this card, you've got all of the elements down here. She's wielding all of them. She's connected to spirit, and she's connected in such a way that everything is routed down into her body. Like for me, when I see this card, because it's just such a cool depiction. It's somebody who is elevated. It's connected to the number 5, so we know that a change is coming, and that whenever you're connected to the Hierophant's energy, that means that you have to have a certain level of faith associated with this change that's coming. And normally when a change comes, it's to direct you and put you back on the path to a place where you may have diverted off from. It's like somewhere where your attention may have been diverted, but now you're going back on the path of where you were always destined to kind of journey down. I feel like on a spiritual level, we're destiny and fate, we're destined and fated to go down a specific direction in our lives. And I feel like because we have free will, we are constantly kind of diverting from that path. We kind of explore an option, but then we always get redirected by something. And usually for me, it's by something that is not easily explained. It's like, that's where I think my angels and spirit and everything exist to kind of put me back in the right direction. So we have a lot of energy right now with the North Node that's going to be in Gemini. It's going to be trining Mercury in Libra, which means if some of you are looking at changing your life for the better, you could become very resourceful. You can find some research. You can find some way to put your life back in the direction that you think that it should go. Because when we get into all this Libra energy that's going to be happening on the 22nd this week, and we experience the fall equinox, we're shedding something in our lives that block our energy bodies, or that in some way inhibit us from getting what we know we deserve. So this may have something to do with something that may be changing is your relationships. Your partnerships, bonds, and unions may need to change and may change. Something may be shed so that you can make room for something that is more deserving, something that you deserve. But also it has to do with money and pleasure and happiness, and also the material world, because when we go into Libra season, we're really visiting the things in our material world that give us pleasure and help us enjoy the material realm and the physical realm's existence, because we're so inundated on so many levels, and every year we visit specific parts of our life. You know, we go through 12 signs in the zodiac, and we have 12 months in the year. And so when you take a look at it from that perspective, you know, we visit a different part of our life throughout the year. And this particular time of the year all has to do with relationships, bonds, and partnerships, and unions, because they mirror us. They tell us where we're at. They tell us where we need work. They tell us whether we're on the right track, and if we're attracting what is good for us, then we know that we're on the right path in life. So that's where I think the Hierophant came in. Okay, you guys got the Turtle Spirit. And the Turtle Spirit is, to me, is really, really important. It's a water-based energy. So for some of you, you may be experiencing this yod, and you may be having a very intense download from Spirit and from your guides, your angels, your guardians, whatever you deem those to be. You're going to have a very intense conversation about that. And it's going to be on a very intuitive level, on a very emotional level for you, because Venus, which is in Leo, which is the ruler of Libra energy, is in a wicked little quincunx with Neptune and Pisces. And on the other side of the yod is going to be Jupiter and Capricorn. And so something may be firing you up and expanding in the material realm, because you have do something different. You have to get closer to what you dream, what you want, what you envision, what's closer to your fantasies, what helps you experience the magic of being a human being on this in the material realm. So that the turtle is longevity. Turtles live a really long time. They have a very protective shell, and they have a very peaceful nature about them. And so turtles, to me, when you are in the turtle spirit, to me, you're just embracing, you want some balance, some peace, some harmony. You're looking to alleviate the drama in your life. That's a big thing that we do when we get into a sun in Libra. Okay, guys, so let's look at the T. What are you focusing on this week? And for you, it's happiness. And anytime we get this happiness, I think of these birds, and these birds are freeing your mind. They're elevating your consciousness. Your ideas can come in and out when birds come into our lives and into our energy. And so we are receivers a lot when we see birds. And with the sun here, you guys are very focused on the pleasurable experiences because of the sun in Libra. So you guys really want to have really rich relationships right now. Some of you are longing for love and connection with others. Some of you are wanting to be more social. These birds flock, and they flock together. And so if you think about that, maybe some of you are longing for companionship, friendship, socializing a lot more. Okay, we have, dark woman, dealings with a relationship with a woman with dark hair or a dark complexion. So for some of you, a woman may be significant, or a feminine energy may be, somebody who has a strong feminine energy may be somebody of significance this week. We have the shark. Take care, or there will be a loss in the material wealth. One thing is with all of this is I'm seeing simplicity. So this is not a time to splurge on something that makes you feel good and gives you instant gratification, because instant gratification is one of those things that it's fleeting. It's like these birds, it's fleeting. Money flies away very easily when we're constantly seeking gratification at that level. So we want to think of things more like the turtle, where it's something we save a really long time and we covet. And so we pour a lot of energy into getting that. And so that actually readjusts your energy to attach to things that give you long and extended periods of pleasure. Okay, then we have the knot. This is unsuccessful plans. So for some of you, when I'm seeing the knot there, I'm seeing a relationship, partnership, bond, and union. I see being tied in knots by that. So this person or people in your life may be tying you up in knots, and because you're this bird energy right here, you're wanting to be freed from being tied up in knots by this person. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe. I just got it, so I thought I would bring it up. Okay, so this is Soul Cards 2. And oh my God, look at this card, you guys. I've never seen it before. So to me, I see the heart down here. I see the red, and look at these two soulmates being drawn together. And it's just such a harmonious card. So yeah, you guys are definitely in tune with the Sun and Libra energy that's going down. There is a beautiful trine with Saturn and Capricorn and a trine with Pluto and Capricorn right now. So for some of you who have been doing a lot of hard work on your sense of self, there's been a lot of you've been pouring a lot of energy into self-care, and you love yourself enough to put yourself as a priority and above others, you might find that you attract somebody very significant into your energy. If you notice here, I don't know if you can see it enough, to me, this is this looks like a very feminine face, and this looks like a masculine face just by their features. So it could be somebody who is opposite but complementary. It's not somebody who constantly opposes you. They oppose you and it brings out the best in you instead of the worst in you. This is a great card. I really love that one. Okay, so you guys have the number, the number 91, surrender. And look at the orange in this card. So this orange in this card, it suggests to me getting fired up. So Mars in Aries is going to be at a trine with this yod, and this yod is the finger of God. That's what it's called in astrology. So this is a time of divine intervention. This is a time where Spirit asks you to step up in your life. This is a 9 and a 1. So a 9 is a completion. It's an ending. It's a cumulative. It's a conclusion to something. But the 1, if you think about it, because then we go from the 9 to the 10, and then we go back to the 1. So you guys are at a cycle where what's happened is you come to a conclusion and you're doing what's best for you, the 1, the self. And so you could be experiencing this elevation. Now, with every yod comes a challenge. Think of it like a video game, and you're on a quest in a video game. And you when you're at the end of your quest in the video game, you get this prize, this thing that strengthens the battles ahead. You know, this thing that, this special armor or this special sword or whatever you get. But at first you have to surrender to the lesson. You have to know that you're on this quest for yourself, and you have to know that you have to take a lot of action to achieve this goal. So that's what I'm seeing with the 91. Okay, let's take a look at your guys' planets here. What are we tuning into? Okay, guys. 3 is always such a fun pile for me. It's like the one that I'm connected to the most. So usually 3s, I'm so sorry about that. Usually 3s to me is where I connect to the most, and it usually can mean a lot of external energy as well, because I'm very connected externally to the world. But it's also just a pile that I'm a life path 3, so I get really connected to the 3 pile. Sorry about that. We have 5 of wands, we have a 5 of coins, and we have a king of coins. Love seeing the king coming up here, guys. Okay, so we have beginning of week, midweek, end of week. And let's take a look. What is a 5? Let's talk about this, because you have a 5 of wands and a 5 of coins. 5s are change. It's the master number of change. So you have to accept that your life, like if you look at this card, it's upright. You are currently in a stage of active change. If it were like this, you would either be resisting the change or the change has already happened and you are dealing with the ramifications of that change. But no, you are currently in change, in the time period where you are changing. And that's happening at the beginning of the week. And you're pretty fired up about that. And you're pretty passionate about that. We have Venus in Leo and we have Mars in Aries. That's fire-based energy. So then we have this 5 of coins. This is Mercury in Taurus energy. And this is a feeling of vulnerability. It's a feeling of lacking. And sometimes when we are working really hard at something, it can test our stability in our material realm. Because if you're the Hierophant, you're connected to Spirit. It's giving you a download and saying, okay, you need to do this. You need to work on this. You need to have faith in this. But the physical realm does not support. Well, okay, I'm supposed to have faith that this is going to work out. I'm supposed to have faith that this change is going to be good for me. Like, I'm supposed to have faith that I'm going to be okay financially. So there could be a level of having that conversation with yourself and testing your faith, right? Then we have the King of Coins. So the King of Coins, the King of Pentacles, is slow and steady. Whenever I feel this level of masculine energy in the pentacles, which is the coins, and you see all this beautiful green energy, this is somebody that you go to that has solid advice. It's a very strong person. This person has a strong masculine presence to them. And this person is a great person to get advice from. They will not ever give you, they're not going to give you the easy advice. They're going to give you the advice that you need to hear. And they're level-headed. They're not rash. They make different decisions from you, because for me, right now with this fired up energy, you could be on the more impulsive side of making a decision. You might be a little bit more impulsive because you're changing. You might overreact to energy. With this beautiful King of Coins, by the end of the week, you may be embracing a more level-headed approach. You may be looking at the self from a bigger perspective, something that has longevity, stability in mind. Or you could be seeking out somebody who embraces this. This could be somebody of significant power. It could be somebody who is a mentor. It could be somebody who is maybe your supervisor, if you want career advice. It could be somebody that you trust. It's a good energy to have in your reading. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I do shuffle these more off camera, but it just takes too long in my readings if I'm shuffling these on camera. So I just want you to see that I mix them up, but I do it off camera. Okay, so we got the Page of Swords showing up. She's been showing up a lot for us, so we'll talk about that. We've got another 5, guys. So we have the 5 of Cups, 5 of Coins, and 5 of Wands. Change, change, change. Okay. We have the King of Cups, King of Coins, dig in that. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Swords. And, we've got my beautiful King. He showed up in pile number 2. So pile number 2 may be significant for you guys to watch as well as a point of reference. Plus also in pile number 2 was this Page of Swords. So this Page of Swords is a new conversation. It's new information. So there may be information between the 2 piles that you can culminate and may speak to you on different levels of consciousness. So beginning of the week, let's take a look at the 3 cards together. So we've got 5 of Wands and we have the 5 of Cups. So this is something where we're being asked to take some action in our life, but it's making us feel vulnerable. It's making us emotional. We're looking back. We just we're hesitating emotionally, but like in the Wands, we know stuff needs to change and we're going to fight for it. We're ready to make the change. We're ready to take the actions. So you have an interpersonal conflict between your emotional self and the self that is your action-oriented self. And then we have the Page of Swords. This does not surprise me because if you think about it, we have this 5 of Cups energy. That would be your Neptune and Pisces, and this very vulnerable, mentally sensitive state where when it's in a quincunx like this, it may be a reality check that's difficult to listen to. But then we also have, like, if you're looking at this 5 of Wands, Jupiter may be expanding your consciousness in your physical realm, saying, you know what, it's time to take action. Whether you want to or not, it's time. So there's a conflict. That could be the 2 quincunxes that is in the yod. But if you look at the base of the yod, where you get that, at the end of the video game, where you get your treasure, that would be between Jupiter, which is blessings, and Neptune and Pisces, which is dreams and fantasies, you getting to have that. And so you've got to be open to some new information, some new ways of doing things, some new tricks. And that's our Page of Wands. She's showing up and she's saying, you know what? New information is going to come in and you have to master something specifically. Okay, then we have the Five of Coins. We have the Four of Pentacles midweek, and we have King of Cups. So Five of Coins, there's a little bit of vulnerability come midweek. Four of Pentacles, there's some vulnerability come this midweek. And we have this King of Cups. So somebody, if you are feeling a little bit vulnerable, if the changes that are coming down the pike are making you a little bit nervous, it's making you feel unstable and threatened in any way. And this could just be on a very deep mental level, but this could actually be physically threatening your resources. Like you feel like, well, if I make this change, how will I survive this? Like, how can I pay for these things? How will I have money? Like you could be having conversations that make you feel scared. So go to somebody. I don't know if you have somebody in your life, but you have you have three kings in your reading today. You have King of Swords, King of Coins, and King of Cups. It is time for you to reach out to other people who have mastered things that you haven't, people who have really good advice, people who are solid and stable, people you trust, people you can be emotionally vulnerable with, and they give you really good advice. For some of you, it could be the opposite role. You could be the king in somebody else's life. And somebody is coming to you, a relationship, bond, partnership, or union, because of all the Libra energy, who needs your solid advice, who needs your wisdom, who needs your emotional, nurturing, loving warmth to help them through a difficult time. But it's definitely, and this could be where you just kind of grow up a little. For some of you, it could just be, you're taking a more leadership role in your life. You're embracing that more king type energy, the King of Cups, the King of Coins, and it may be you just stepping into a leadership role in your life. Could be a first time for some of you. It could be something where you're not entirely comfortable doing. And so, there's a little vulnerability. We see it in the Five of Cups, we see it in the Five of Coins, and we see it in the Four of Pentacles. There's a little bit of like uncertainty. And so that causes this Eight of Swords come end of week. There's like, every time I see the Eight of Swords, I feel like there is a conscious resistance to something that you need to do. You don't want to take off this blindfold. You don't want to face this. You don't want to acknowledge it. Because as soon as you face it and acknowledge it and you start to have to deal with it, you have to deal with reality. So there's a sense of not wanting to do that. But here's the thing, by end of week, that may be something that you realize that you do. It's like a habit, a tick, something that it's a poor coping method that you do. Because that's like Venus in Leo in this quincunx with Neptune and Pisces. That's part of the thing, the quest that you've got to get through, this yod, this finger of God that's trying to talk to you about, the side of you that tends to avoid your level of reality. But then you've got these kings at the end of the week. So I have two kings here. So we could have a good support system giving you resources, helping you out. You can go to them. These are masculine energies. So these are people who aren't afraid to take action. They're not afraid to make decisions. That may not be your strong suit. You may have something to learn from them. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm just going to put all these aside. Guys, this is a hardcore reading. I'm not going to lie. So you're like, Annette, what's positive? I mean, this sounds like an intense freaking week. I'm sick of intense weeks. Like, can we just have some fun and some light and some positive energy? So let's talk about a little positivity. You can adapt and become the leader in your life. And people will stop. When somebody else leads our life, they have their agenda what to do with us. And so that takes away the power in our life. So right now, as challenging as it sounds, taking back the power in your life is exactly what you need to do, because you are a co-creator of your own life. So if you give that power to somebody else, they're creating your life. What? We can't allow that. So look, guys, have faith. And we have the Hierophant, faith, faith and faith. Something this week will test your faith. It will test your faith in you, maybe. It might test your faith in your relationships and the stability in your relationships. It might test the faith, maybe just in general. Do you feel like that this world is going to be a safe place for you? It might test your faith in your government. It might test your faith in your job. I mean, but something is going to test your faith this week. Something that ties you up in knots, by the way. I kind of got that message. Examine your integrity. So I'm just going to read this to you again. So this is called, here we go. It's called Mystic Healing Reading Cards. It's by Ina Siegel. I love her so much. Cannot recommend her decks enough because her books are amazing. Let's just find her in here. Alrighty, guys. So it says, examine your integrity. Stand strong in your convictions. Your eye has been weakened, which means that you are vulnerable to other people's influence. Only you can decide through clear objective thinking and feeling what is best for you in this situation. Take the time you need to go within, take a look at the bigger picture and ask, what are the long-term consequences of the decision? You are being asked to examine your personal integrity and take a stand for something that aligns with your strongest ideals. The choices you make now will not only impact your life, but also your experience in the spiritual worlds and your future lives. Even though you may feel that you are giving up fantastic opportunity, be aware that a new and potential possibilities are opening up to you, and these possibilities allow you to influence others in a truly positive manner, thus creating ripples of goodness in the world. Whoa, you're getting schooled, dude. I love you guys. You're getting schooled in the fact that you need to have faith through plight. Like you need to have faith through things that make you feel vulnerable. Like when you are threatened or you feel vulnerable, you have to have faith in something bigger. You have to have faith that something has your back. And for me, I always go back to God because that's just the way that I was raised. But that could be your angels, your spirit animals, your guardians of any kind. Just have faith that something has your back. Or it could be faith in relationships in your life. Maybe you have some solid people. We have some kings in our lives. We have a support system. You had some powerful people in your reading that you can fall back on. They're strong enough to support you. Okay, turn away. So these last couple weeks have been very mentally overwhelming, and they have made us in the feels. So it is a time where I think we do need to turn away from those toxic relationships in our lives that have a lot of emotional upheaval. And it is time to turn toward the light in your life. And that is something that is harder than it sounds, because we tend to just repeat patterns and repeat and stay in relationships because they're comfortable. And sometimes turning away is uncomfortable. And so that could be part of like what we need to have faith in. Escapist. Come home to yourself. There are a lot of people that struggle with this. So again, we're talking, which I feel like this is very significant for you this week. Venus in Leo in this quincunx in the Yod with Neptune and Pisces. Escapism is a very real issue that a lot of people do in their lives when their lives become so overwhelming that they can't cope with their realities. They do everything they can to escape. Is that drugs? Is that alcohol? Is that fantasy? Is that binging on movies? Is that eating? Is that obsessively working out because you can't accept yourself, so you don't love yourself enough to embrace yourself? Like all of those things in some way tend to be a place. Some of us, it's just like we're homebodies. We don't want to go out in the world. We don't want to face the world. We don't want to deal with our current reality. We don't want to go out and deal with the fact there's a pandemic. So we just hide away. We just shut it out. We're queens of shutting it out. That would be a quincunx in Neptune and Pisces. You're being asked to visit. That is a place where you're losing power, where you are not enabling yourself to empower your life there. If the longer you avoid this area in the life, the longer that karma is going to drill you in this particular area of your life. Stop avoiding. It's kind of what it's saying. And then we have dreams. Yeah, you guys are you're really caught up in this yacht. And Neptune and Pisces is a big energy for you with this water turtle based energy. I'm telling you, if you can go through this time where you get at the end of the challenge, there is a beautiful energy that gets you closer to your dreams than you've ever been before. Because there's that beautiful sextile with Neptune and Pisces, with Jupiter and Capricorn. That sextile it will expand your biggest fantasies. It'll expand your dreams into reality. It will expand the gifts that happen when you deal with the things that block the good things from coming in your life. When we put up blocks, we block the bad and the good. So it wants you to have more of the good. So let's see here. Sorry, you guys. I love you. 3s, man. Don't ever pick 3s unless you want a reality check, because it's like such a next level connection for me when I do pile number 3. I apologize for that. Okay, so let's do our charms and see what kind of charms you guys have. Okay, my loves. Let's see. Let's make sure this is in shot. It is. Okay. I'll turn away here in just a second. Let me just get these nice and mixed up. Okay, turned away. Right. Oh, we didn't get very many. Oh, isn't that funny? We didn't get very many. Oh. So the plane, there's a couple things going on with the plane. I always think of reality check for Boeing, but that's just because I live in Seattle. But also I think of flying away, changing your scenery, changing your circumstances. I think of getting away when we see a plane. I think of also air energy when I see a plane, elevating our perspective, looking at things from a broader perspective. Sometimes if we just elevate our perspective, then we can look at things intellectually and rationally and logically just a little bit different. Plane has a lot of symbols to me, to be honest with you. Oh, look, you guys have a puppy paw print. This has to do with the imprint. So imprinting is what I see too, just from a print of any kind. Like if you go into nature and you see like the print of a dog in mud, it's like he is imprinted his presence there. So for some of you, you're dealing with imprinting issues, and imprinting means you could have been under the influence of somebody, and somebody has imprinted their perspective onto you, and it has skewed your perspective into believing. Now, imprinting can be beautiful in a different way. The positive way of looking at imprinting is that because you listen to my reading, that's positive imprinting. I'm imprinting a perspective upon you, so therefore you are looking at this from a different perspective. So it could go one of two ways. This is very Neptune and Pisces, guys. This is love, dream, hope, trust, love, dream, hope, trust, and it's in a circle. So instead of creating negative and escaping and doing these poor coping methods, you could create cycles in your life and a circular motion. And you think of sacred geometry, where what comes around goes around. If I think of it like that. And so if you are willing to grab the bull by the horns and start taking care of some of these problems and dealing with these ways that you escape that are negative for your energy, so that and trying to resist what the change that's coming, then you will have this circle of light, love, and happiness coming into your life, where it's kind of like dominoes. It just initiates really good things into your life, but you've got to be able to initiate action. I've never gotten this guy before. So this is a spider in a web, and I always think of the web we weave. Think of it like this. Well, first of all, spiders are highly intuitive. Spiders are, I don't know if you've ever went up to a spider, but they're crawling along the ceiling, right? And then you walk up there and they just stop. Like, oh, nobody sees me if I just stop. And you don't even have to come near them. Sometimes I've just started to go, I created a little bit of movement, and all of a sudden they're like, whoop, they stop moving, because it's like they're so incredibly in tune with the vibrations all around them. I also think of how much time and effort a spider puts into a web, creating a web, strengthening. It creates the perfect web for that particular environment so that it can feed itself and it can protect itself. And it spends a great deal of time in how strong webs are. So think about the web that you weave. Like, is somebody else creating your web? I mean, are you allowing somebody, are you just a spider just hanging out in somebody else's web? Well, maybe that doesn't support your weight. Maybe that doesn't support your needs. So you are creating your own web. You are weaving your own web of protection, of possibility, of opportunity, of expansion. If you think about it, like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but spiders actually move based on their webs. And so they'll like sometimes create a little web and it'll like project them to a different part. And that's a safer way of going. But it's something that you're actively doing when you're creating your own web. Okay, guys, so I'm going to put these back in here. Very interesting. I'm really attached to the air energy for you. We do have a North Node in Gemini going on with this trine in Mercury and Libra. So it is a time of like the mind at work, but it's also a time where we have quincunxes in that same North Node. So if you're not going north and you're letting somebody else, you're on somebody else's journey, or somebody's abusing power, crap's going to go down this week for you guys, just an FYI. But I feel like I don't feel that as energetically for you, although we do have a 5 of Wands that does suggest some level of conflict, tough conversation, tough actions. Okay, let's take a look at your words for the week. Haven't been having much luck with the words because I keep not getting like vowels, and it's like, what the front? Okay. Okay, so this came up immediately for me. So this is the strongest word. When I see the very first word, that's always the strongest word. And it was song. Oh my gosh. Shut your mouth. This is what I saw immediately. Okay, I'll show you in just a second. Let me put it out here. Love song. Well, for one thing, love is on the table. I mean, we do have the Sun in Libra and Venus in Leo. They're just all heart, all love, all partnership. They just want to attract the abundance that love can bring into their lives and into their relationships. They are just all about, they're very romantic at this stage. When Venus is in Leo and the Sun is in Libra, this is about really connected to what you're passionate most about, what brings you the most pleasure. This is also a lot about physical pleasure. Like, some of you just desire a freaking connection with somebody. Love songs are a great way to initiate and to manipulate energy to bring love to you. So really connect this week with love songs, like play them. I know that some of them, if you don't have love in your life, a way to manifest love is to listen to love songs, watch love stories, like that stuff. It puts you, it clears energy of negativity about your views and your viewpoints on love and heartbreak and all of that stuff. And it creates positive energy in a place where you may have some negative energy about maybe you're never going to find love. So this is just a way to manipulate energy, love songs. I got on a tangent about that, but it's so strong, like crazy strong for you guys. I have make. So understand, like I said, making, where we make our realities. We are the co-creator of our realities. Think of it like the Neptune and Pisces energy that we've been talking about. You have a paintbrush in your hand, and you have canvas, and you have paints. What are you going to create? That is the way your life is. You are a creator with the canvas and the tools and the brush in your life. And what are you creating? If your life isn't going according to plan, if you don't like the direction your life is going in, well, honey, that's on you, because you are creating your reality. You have a level of responsibility, which can also be a part of this whole Neptune and Pisces kind of conversation, is like, maybe you want to blame everybody else. You want to be the victim of your circumstance. That is a quincunx in Neptune and Pisces. Everything happens to me. Woe is me. I'm a victim of my circumstances. I can't do anything about it because those people have power over me. BS. It's all BS. I'm just going to tell you, and the world is telling you it's all BS. So it's just calling you out, my friends. Calling you out, my loves. Okay. Oh gosh. Sing your love songs. Sing your little heart out. Just sing. Singing is a great way to change your vibration. So is music is a great, it'll change your vibration. So music therapy is really good, and sound therapy is excellent. So, but singing is just a way to just ignite your soul. It's a form of creation. So is a paintbrush. So is clay, any kind of art. But singing is an art. And so for you, if you want to put yourself right, just sing your little stinking heart out. And like, even if you just like go into your shower and you just sing your favorite song in the shower, you could be the worst singer ever. Who cares? You're in a shower. Nobody cares about that. Let's see if we have any other significant words here that are like calling my name. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay, soak. Soaking up energy. Are you soaking up good energy? Are you soaking up bad energy? I would also say just go in the bathtub and just do a long hot soak. I have this like a beautiful rose. It's like a love. It's like all these herbs, and I think it's called a love soak. And basically, you put that in there. You put your candles, and you have a little bubble bath. You maybe have a glass of wine, and you just soak your troubles away. That might be a way to reverse or like change your energy state if you want to. Anything else before I leave here? And then we got some numbers, but then we're done. Somebody near you, or you long to be near somebody, or you want to be nearer to connection, nearer to the life you want. I'm seeing that as well. I think that's everything, guys. I'm sure you guys see more in these numbers, in these letters, but let's go to numbers. I'm going to dig. Oh, shut your mouth. Look at this little random. Aw, he's a little ant. He's just random. He's just over here. He's like, wait, hold up. What about me? And it's like, well, you know what ants do? They work on things. They work really hard. They literally have a whole system around working and gathering. So work at your life. And he's black. Look at him. He's working on some shadow work, my friends. That's what he's doing. Little black ant. So cute. Okay. We have 4. 4 represents stability. It represents the structure, your foundation. It represents the individual working on themselves. 4 is a pretty powerful number. It's being solid, responsible, those sorts of things. We have 5. We have 5 and a 2. So this could literally be, if you want to look at this is kind of the way I look at numerology. So 5, and we have a 5 here. And then we have a 2. That's an us. It's a we. We are changing. I am changing my relationships. I am working on the way I interact with others. I am working at maintaining power in my relationships, which is very hard for Libras to do. So that may be something that they're getting called out on. Here's another one. Here's a 4 and a 1. We have a 4, but this could also be 5. And a 5 we have as the Hierophant. So having more faith. And we have 75, guys. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys every week showing up. Thank you so much for walking. Much love, walking. You can walk too. But thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you. And just go out there and be the change you want to see in the world. Have a great night. Bye.